What's going on, guys? Nate here, and today I'd like to talk about open worlds, and exactly how much their size matters. For the longest time, the size of a world has been a major factor for me in determining whether or not an open world game was worth its money. Raw map size is one of those very few quantifiable numbers we can look at and be absolutely sure of something. When developers everywhere are trying to tell us, oh, our game has a good story, or oh, our game has good combat, it's very difficult to take those statements seriously. Because of course the developers are going to say such great opinionated things about their games that you can't really prove, but when you're able to flaunt raw numbers in my face and say, oh, our game is 15 square kilometers, then you get my attention because I can count on that information 100% being true. Unless, of course, your studio's like Hello Games. Developers seem to understand this too, so we've generally been seeing a trend upward in map sizes. Grand Theft Auto 5 has been Rockstar's largest map ever, Fallout 4 has been Bethesda's largest ever, minus their old procedural stuff. No Man's Sky, a game I'm not entirely done with in this video yet, was and is basically infinite. Developers know that map size sells, so to an extent, yes, it definitely does matter. But I still have another page to read off this script, so we're not done yet. The problem with such attention to map size is the bigger it gets, the harder it is for developers to adequately and proportionately staff it with content, detail, and things to do. Sure, you can have a really big playground area, I guess, but if monkey bars, swing sets, and the like are only filling some of that area, then the extra space is all pretty much meaningless. The phrase as wide as an ocean with the depth of a puddle comes to mind here. I remember playing Skyrim years ago, and after my first few hours, I was still in the Whiterun hole. Whiterun was the only city I visited, I guess except excluding Riverwood if you want to count that. I had just helped the Jarl kill a dragon, gotten a mammoth tusk for some cute market lady, talked to the companions and got accepted, and I recalled looking at my map and thinking, wow, I've only been to a very small portion of the map, and I've already seen this. There is so much more to do. By contrast, after my first hour or so on Fallout 4, I remember looking at my Pip-Boy as I made it to Diamond City, which was pretty much at the center of the map and the center of everything, and thinking to myself, this is a pretty small game if I'm already halfway through this map. Despite the fact that Fallout 4's map is about 33% larger than Skyrim's, and that statistic is including Skyrim's intraversable mountains too. Skyrim felt exponentially bigger, not because it actually was, but because there was so much more content everywhere. And not only that, perhaps equally as important, the developers sort of guided my character to visit one of the most content-dense regions of the game early on. All of this provided the illusion of one of the biggest worlds in gaming to me, even though it was just that, an illusion. But I never really minded. Curiously enough, the game of those two I look back on and think, I've been bamboozled. Isn't Skyrim, it's Fallout 4. And that's what really gets to me, because the real illusion here, a word I'm using so often, wasn't Bethesda tricking me into thinking Skyrim had a large map size by making the game so content dense, but it was Bethesda making me think Fallout 4 would be content dense because it had a large map size. The developers behind Horizon Zero Dawn seem to understand this philosophy of map quality will equal the belief in map quantity better than most. They flat out refuse to tell people how large their map truly is, because people are so satisfied with it as it is now. They don't want to disappoint anybody by saying, yeah, our map's actually really tiny, we just make you think it's big. And as you can probably expect, I like it that way. Horizon Zero Dawn to me felt huge, but as the developers allude, it probably isn't as big as I believe. The real tragedy here is developers are never going to be able to adequately measure content density and put that on the box. I can put 16 square kilometers on my box. I can't just say, full of things to do and expect people to take me seriously. The unfortunate consequence of this is developers saying, look how much land we have, guys, rather than look at what you can do in that land. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every single inch of a game should be loaded with quests and NPCs. Sometimes having a vast stretch of grass adds a bit to the immersion. It gives me an environment to soak in, but it's finding that balance that developers are often unable to do. So I've decided I'm really going to do my best to stay away from those sorts of statistics. How big a map is, how many square kilometers is it? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how much land there is, it's what you can do in that land. Because while we're able to build and render in maps 5 times bigger than what we could 10 years ago, our creativity and ability to write good stories and content isn't expanding at that same rate. So, does size in maps matter? Not a whole lot to me. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating, as always, is very much appreciated, and leave a comment down below. Do you appreciate larger map sizes, or would you rather them be more condensed and have more attention to detail within them? Also, today is July 16th, which means Game of Thrones is back, baby! I am fully expecting Stannis to swoop in there and steal the game from anybody, but, that probably won't happen. Anyway, thanks for watching, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out, everybody.